G'day, how you going? This is Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my video. I'm just getting set up for my next tutorial to show you people here. Now, I want to firstly get the sizes up on the canvas there, so you can write that down, and they're in centimetres and inches. I really don't know why people need to know the size of the canvas. I never really worried about it when I was searching for videos, but anyway, people do want them, and there they are. And also the colours are going up the screen there as well. I can see it's important to know what colours we're going to use. If you want to paint along with this tutorial, watch the whole thing first so you know what you're up against, and then you can start painting along with it, alright? So, I want to get you over here, and I've done a bit of a sketch of what I want to do in this tutorial, okay? It's going to be a nice layout for a beginner's painting. It's sort of a water scene, and yeah, so get on over here and have a sticky beak at that. So I've been drawing a setting sun or a rising sun, either with some water reflections. We've got a water bird in the water, and we're going to have a shallow shoreline here. Now with your sky, this is why I say watch the video first, because I might do it blue or a sunset or a mauvey purpley red colours, whatever. So, but I'm going to experiment with my sky in this tutorial, and if it works, good stuff. And this is also a good time you can put the thumbs up and like me video, alright? So, we've got a horizon line. If anything, I want it higher. Why do you want it higher rather than lower, Ian? Well, because I can get more of the water and then a bit of a foreground here, where if I had it too low for you beginners, I'm not going to fit all that there. Alright? So I want a bit of a bird, water bird there, some reeds in the water, and a bit of a rocky shoreline, maybe some rocks. Yeah. So on my palette I've got my soft body white. It's not titanium white out of a tube. This is like a craft paint. It's very soft and flowable. And I've got my retarder mixed in with that. The slow drying medium to slow down your acrylic paints, because I want to be able to blend these colours into the sky, which is my quinacridone magenta, my French ultramarine blue, and I've got some beryllium yellow there. Alright, so we'll first get this incorporated together. I'm just using a wide, cheap synthetic 2-inch brush here, so as I can condition my canvas panel with this white, and the other colours are going to flow into it. So I'm going to get the canvas all painted up. I'm going to do the whole lot so as I can pretty much, because I'm going to have the sun in the middle of the horizon line. Whether the horizon line's higher or lower, my sun's going to be in the middle of the horizon line, not on top of it. Alright? And I'll show you why, if you're not quite, for those who might not understand why you're having it in the middle. So we've laden that soft craft paint on there with retarder. Now that's going to stay wet for a while. It's not going to dry on me. Now I'm going to use a pouncer. I'm going to start with the yellow. I'll get that a bit damp and wanting. I might give that paint a bit of just a squirt of water to keep it loose. And I want to start in the middle with the yellow first, and then I'll come with the red and the blue. And where's my horizon? I'm going to have it roughly that high, so that's where I want my sun in the middle. So I'm pushing this on, sort of giving it a little twist so it's coming off the sponge. And why I'm using this pouncer, it's round, and I'm pouncing a round circle onto my canvas. So I want to get that slowly fading. And why I've painted the whole canvas is I'm getting the water reflection in at the same time, okay? So we've done that. I'm just using the sponge to carefully stamp out any patterns that I can see there. Alright, I'm going to get some of the quinacridone magenta now. I haven't cleaned that sponge because it's going to mix a bit purpley. Purpley? Yeah. What does red and yellow make? Purple? Yeah. I could probably put a bit of, see what it's going to go like. maybe a little bit of, it's going to get blue in it when we go up there anyway. I'm just seeing what we're getting. I do want the red, because we want a bit of an orangey feel, and then it'll turn into the blue. So I'm going to start from the edge here. See, when I'm stamping, nothing's coming off. That's why I was giving it little bits of twist. I'll start here, just let's say the bottom area first, and just tiptoe it into that yellow, just like that, because I'm going to I'll put that down, grab a blending brush, and I want to merge that into those two colours there, just so it's a beautiful soft transition. That conditioning of my canvas panel with the white flow paint and retarder is allowing this to happen. Okay, so we've got that happening there. Wipe your brush, because you will get build up on your brush. This is the water colour, so I'm going to start bringing my brush this way now. And why I did the water side first, because you know, I'm just doing this out of my head from that sketch I'd done, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to work out, but it's working out fine. I'll get some more now, and we'll start the top colour. Just stamp it on, don't kill too much of your yellow and again tassel that into the yellow glare there. Alright, now I've cleaned that pouncer and I'm grabbing some of the blue, what is it, French ultramarine blue. We don't want it dark up there. Let's just try this corner here. So we're stamping our blue on, and probably, you know what, it's really not doing a lot. I'll use the brush. So I picked up that brush that I had in the beginning, and I'll just do this corner first, see how it's going to look. Get that to that purpley mauvey reddish colour there. Grab my blending brush, constantly wipe it, and start merging that into that middle colour there, just so as the transitions are soft. Now the sky to me is a bit on the dark side. I don't want it that dark. I'm picking up some of that flow white on the board just to incorporate it into there, and then I'll do the same on all the other three corners, and then we're ready to add some clouds. I don't want the blue just like blue though, that's solid blue. I'm going to mix that up a bit with some white as well, and when the blue's hitting this reddish colour, it's going to create another shade. So we'll get this on there to the red. I'm just doing a corner at a time, so it's not going to get all tacky on me. I want to control my blending. So that's why it pays to watch the video. I started putting this blue on with that pouncer, but you will see for yourself. Alright, I'll have a blending brush ready, so when I get to the blue part, I'll know I'm going to blend it. That's why I say watch a video first before just painting along with it. Alright, we've got that there. Now we're going to put some clouds in the sky. So I've got some titanium white out of the tube. I'm not using the craft paint, that's too soft and not enough body to it. And I want to intensify the middle of the sun as well. So I've just got there's a flat brush cut on an edge, because this will be able to, the pouncer's too big for what I want to do, but I'm going to use the same principle as the pouncer. So as in the middle of my sun, there's my horizon line there. I want this, I'm stamping it on. If you've got a small pouncer, that's fantastic. Actually, you know what? I think I can even use my finger for this.
So we'll put that in the middle. Oh yes, and I can dance that around and get some beautiful artistic intensities in the middle there. I'm just using my finger to blend it. And if you really want to be fussy like I tend to get, I just wipe my finger. I'm picking up the blending brush and I'll just blend that white out into the yellow there. I might leave that textured surface there. It's giving it a bit of something to the painting. There we go, we've just got a bit of intensity in the middle. I'll just pick up a bit to kill some of this loud yellow. Some of that yellow is just loud there. There we go, I want to mute it a bit. Alright, you can play and fine tune your sky, and when you've done this we've got to put the clouds on. So I'm using a fan brush here just to incorporate the clouds onto my sky there. Now I don't want too many, but I want something coming across the whole three colours, so I want to sort of get the top shape, create the top shape. I've noticed some people doing the way I do clouds, that's good, but they're getting caught doing too much, so their clouds look like they've got these big long lines on them. You've got to try and, it's probably my fault for not explaining clearly enough, but try and control the shape of the top. Just control the shape of the top. See what I've done here? Then the rest you can just blend the body down. Blending it into that blue. See, I mucked around too much. Because it should be picking up those colours into the cloud, which is fine, they're still there anyway. And then we'll just lightly, hang on, I want to get that out there into oblivion. Just lightly tickle the tops so they look soft and gentle. I might put something here, so I'm pushing it on, finding the top shape that I want, which is there. Just grab the cleaner blending brush because that one was getting a bit mucky. And we're going to blend that down into the sky as well. Now I want to show you something because I feel it hasn't picked up the sunset colours properly. I'll just tickle the tops of that first, just to, there we go, beautiful. So on the palette we've got some of the colours here. So where we got some yellow and some of this colour here. I'm just going to grab some of that, probably make up something there, I'll just do a little bit. You know how I normally put the grey colour in? I'm just seeing how this is going to look inside the cloud. Just to there. I don't want to do it into the blue bit. And we'll put the bum on there with that and dance that into the white a bit, just so we've got some sunsetting colours into that cloud there. That's not too bad. It's given it a bit more luster, yumminess, greatness, fantasticness. Put some in there. Okay. Normally at home you'll be doing this without explaining to everybody in your street and your house what you're doing. Your paint would have been wet enough for you to, when you're blending the white, it's picking up the blue, the red and the yellow for the shadow colours there, okay? I'm just finishing off the sky, so I'm just putting another layer of cloud lower, something artistically for the painting's sake. I'm trying to give it a bum, and as I'm pulling it through there, it's picking up some other colours as well, which is fine. I've just put something else there. I'll tickle the top a bit, and who knows, maybe I'll just put something in front of that cloud. Pick up your paint in front of that cloud there, just to sink it back as well. Okay, because our horizon line's right there. I don't want to go any lower than that with clouds. They're obviously got to be blended into the atmosphere. And we're going to have some grass, shrubs, hills, bushes, something out there to that effect. Alright, so that's pretty much our sky. Now I'm going to dry that, and then we'll get on to the next stage of laying out the horizon line landmass. Alright, so this is where you can dry that now. Yeah, I've dried that, so now you can get your brushes that you're quite comfortable with doing some shrubs and green bushes and that sort of thing with, okay? Grab yourself a coffee as well. I've got my cold coffee going there. This is where I can also get you to check the links in the description below. There's one for me bloopers channel. I'm adding that link in there as well. There's a couple of bloopers in that channel there. So if you want to watch them, feel free. But do remember those bloopers do have some mild coarse language. So just remember that with the kiddies around, okay? It's not vulgar language, but there's the odd bad word in there, okay? So I just want to inform you on that. And there are other links there as well. Art for Sale, Facebook, follow me on Facebook, and my art group page, Ianapolis Art Network, alright? I-A-N, Ianapolis Art Network. Says my name. Alright, so I'm going to work out what brush I want for this as well. I'm not quite sure. And if you've got a bullshit stick or a ruler, something like that, that's going to help as well later on in this painting to getting some of the glare, the smearing and the washed look in your waterlines, okay? So let's get on with this. Okay, I'm going to use green. So I've got me forest green and cadmium yellow light. So I want to get 3 different values mixed up. Alright, so I'm going to drag that into a line, okay, and I want one value out here. So the yellow is going to give that. So we've pretty much got the dark, and we've created one value there. Now I'm going to pick up this other blob, bring onto the end of that ball there, okay. So I'm making a circle of 3 different shades. And now I'm going to pick up this other blob and bring into this one. I might not need the whole lot, I might just need, but they're there, I've made them up, they're there. So there we go, cadmium yellow light's a great yellow to mix with toning your colours. Alright, so now, because we're near the sun, this will be closest to the sun and this will be further away from the sun, okay? Now my horizon line's pretty much there. I'm going to start in the middle. I've picked up a little filbert brush, and where's my horizon line? Because it's going to get covered with this thing, so you can sort of dot along if you want, so you've got an idea where you're navigating yourself. And from the middle, I'm just going to start creating. I'm barely touching it. I don't want a big blob on there like that, alright? I'm barely touching it. I want whisper and air between the tops. So create the top first with this colour. Come away and probably work out there and there. You'll change the different tones of the green, okay? So I'm going to come to there, okay? Now there's my waterline. Now I'll put this one's shadow in, so I'm going to come down with its shadow there and pull down, keeping that where you're pulling it down reasonably straight, okay? Or you can use another brush, a flat brush for that. See how easy that was? Now I've just wiped that brush. I'm picking up that other value a little bit darker than that one, and here's our horizon line, so we're going to come to about there. So what I want to do is bring it along and then step tail into that a bit and then start creating some sort of gesture of hills. And I'm going to stop about there with this one. Get some air in the tops there just so they look beautiful. The bottoms you want quite solid, the tops can be airy. And you've tiptoed it back through that one somewhat like that. Follow the rough shape that you got here, which is about there. Quickly get that in. There's your mark where you want to drag down. So you're going to drag all this down as you go, like that, okay? Don't drag it so you get a big greeny bit coming down there. It'll look stupid. And now we're going to wipe that brush and pick up the next darker value of that colour we mix on the palette there. And there's our horizon line, which is about there. Create your shape and then tiptoe back into that tone there, just so it's a nice gradient transfer of the different values, okay? And it's up to you how high or low you make these and how detailed you make these. So we've done the top and we're going to bring the bottom in now. So bring the bottom into that shape, tiptoe it into there. I know where the part is I'm going to pull down. Get all that solid there. And I want to pull this down as well. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So now we've done our horizon line landmass, so to speak. Whatever flavour you want, we've got it mapped on there. Now we're going to detail it a bit. And for that I've got the cad yellow light again, I've got burnt umber and I've got some black. So first off I want to get some of the yellow. I've just got a small flat brush and the burnt umber. I want to make a sort of a dead undergrowth foliage colour. And what I'm going to do, instead of just putting a black line across the middle, this is going to add that element of more wowness. So firstly, we're putting pockets of, let's just say there, I'll just show you on this one. I'm drawing the line there, right? Can you see that line? Yes. Now, if anything, this is all going to be dead underwood there. It can probably be a bit more on the darker side, actually. And then I'll transition this into black then, so it's not just black. So we'll put the line back again. See these sticks, they're good for getting stuff done. So we've done that. I'm not going too deep into the water, but we're pulling this line, we're teasing it and tracing it through all our different values of green there. Okay, all the way along there. Don't go too much down the end there, because that's in the distance. And then I'll put the black, and this will be, instead of it just being black and like this has added more value and luster to your painting and detail, okay, just by adding this colour there before the black. Alright. Okay, I've dried that. Now I want to put me horizon stick on the bullshit stick. I'm picking up the black. I don't want to go too far in the horizon there, and I want to, yeah, somewhere around here, put this black line in. Not too fat, go skinnier as you go into the center there, like so. Can you see what we've done? And then tantalizingly tease it into that brown that we've just put on there, okay? Very simple to do, but will give your painting an element of moreness, more detail, more wowness. And we're just slowly, you don't want to bring this black past the brown unless you can understand shadows and depths. You can do it your own way, but for the very first beginner, this is just something we can dance along the horizon line there. And why I dried every layer before I add a new colour is because if I didn't dry it, it will be mudding up and it'll be frustrating you, okay? And what I'm doing on this side, I'll be doing the same on the other side, okay? And then another thing you can do is just probably, if you want, little pockets of dark, just at this end here, you know, just to give it a sense of shadowness. Put the values in the water side as well. Okay, I've finished putting the black in. Now to finish this off, we're just going to put some highlights. So down on the palette, I'll give it a bit more of a squirt so it's going to transfer. Now we've got this colour here. I'm picking up the rest of this yellow that I mixed up there with the burnt umber. And I want to get a very lighter value of this, just so way out there we can get some highlights. And I'm using the same brush I made the bush with. And I want to, let's get it on there. Don't kill everything, very little, and then into the water with it. Now this is where you can segregate bushes. How's that looking in the monitor? Yeah, it's quite glary out there, which is what I'm wanting. Just highlighting it, putting some in there. Just bits. Maybe a bit up here. How's that looking? It's not too bad, and probably a bit out here, and that can do it. The better, the finer the brush you have for this, oh, you can get some wicked details in your work, eh? It's unbelievable. But that's just a basics. Okay, so we've done this much so far, so we'll finish the water off so the bird can go in front of it, and we'll bring the shallow shoreline and rocky area to this edge here, because I don't want to put the bird on then try and go around him. So we do things in the right order, okay? So we'll finish the water here, all right? So I'm thinking of a short, I've just got yellow oxide here, I've got some white to get some probably different values of this. Let's have a look and see what we get. So yeah, I'll just go for 2 shades of it. Okay, I've picked up the yellow oxide, I've put it into this corner. I'm sorry my camera wasn't on when I done that. So I've put it into here, and I've picked up that lighter value, and I've painted it on here, and I've scrumbled it into that bluey watercolour, just so it's evaporating down into the depths of the water there. And then I've merged the 2 colours together. Just picked up some of the burnt umber there, and I want to darken, I'll come off the edge here, and I'll just darken that a bit. Just across the bottom there, and I'll merge that into there. So I've got a darker value. Now for the water reflections, I'm going to use the flow white because it's a bit more opaque than the titanium white, and I'm mixing up I'm just teasing it with a bit of the blue there. And I'm using a flat brush, okay? Grab your stick, I'll do one side and show you. So we want to, it's very flat and sharp. And we want to, I can rest this on the stick now, and I can go along and then start making contact and control the thickness I want. And I want to have this in the middle of that black band that we've got there, see? Just like that. I'll quickly do one on the other side. Then, once we've done that, see, you control the height, go along, and I'm making contact there. Very sparingly, if anything, all the way out to there. I'll come a bit harder here at the edge. That's just the water hitting the bank. Now that was tainted with the blue. I picked up the I picked up the fluorite, and I want to come from where the sun is now, and I want to hit bands out there. Adjust your stick to the height. Your brush can come up and down the painting as you go. And I'm not making contact. When you do it, you've got to come on and off. Don't move your brush, because I used to do that in the beginning, and you get little flicks, and it makes it look like a hockey stick. And I just want to make the intensity out there of the sun there. You know what I mean. Okay, now before we put the rest of those shimmering reflections on the water to sink everything down, we just want to get these rocks at the shore there so they can be sunken down as well. So I picked up some of the burnt umber on this flathead brush, I do have a bit of the lighter tone there for the highlight of it. We'll see if we can put that on there, because we want these rocks a bit dark. We don't want them too big though. So we're gonna, I want to get some rocks out here. What I'll do, I won't worry about highlighting them. I'm just going to create them. I want some, you know what, that brush is no good for that. I'll use a bit of a pointy round one. So I'll pick up that paint again. And then I can, look at that, I'm using a flat, what an idiot I was. And we'll get some little ones out there. I'll try and make that into something. And these I'll fix up. Some of them can protrude above the water, but I want pretty much these below the water. So there we go. Just mix some titanium white with that burnt umber that I was using. I don't want to use that colour because it'll clash with the sand underneath. Have your paint a bit wet, and we can highlight some of these. It's separating them, making them an individual object from each other. You know, I said earlier about my coffee. I still haven't touched it. My goodness. Neglecting my coffee is not the best. I might put a little bit of white just to crack some of them, eh? Let's see what a bit of white does. Okay, I've just dampened a bit of titanium white, so it's going to transfer, and I'm just sort of getting some third colour within there to give it a third dimension. Putting some sort of highlight there. You'll see the sand colour we made, the yellow oxide, and we lightened it up a bit. I'm grabbing a bit of the, you know, the burnt umber there, not too much, and I want to bring those two colours together, okay, just to put those rocks, they look like they're floating. So see here, and I'm using the flat brush, and I want to create, I'm just going to dance some, let's see if this can kind of sit them down, give them some sort of sitting down aspect. Just here and there, just some shadow. What they're sitting on something, and they've got to have shadow. Otherwise, no shadow there. That's how you get that floating look. And I do want to try and remove that floating look because I can see it there. All right, now we'll dry all this, and we're going to put the water lines on, okay? All right, so we'll use our stick, and where the reflections are, we want to sort of sink them back. So I'm on, and then I lift it off, okay? And try and randomly put these in a way that they don't look like they're in a pattern, if you can help it. The thinner you make these as well, sometimes the smaller you make them, like I'm just doing there now. You'd be amazed. Experiment how these things can look in your painting. And if you done something in a painting and it accidentally looked good and you're thinking there's something there, it looks real, well, grab it, adopt it, use it, because you've done something right, or you accidentally discovered something that works in art. I've done that a few times. I can't remember how, but I do remember. Now, I want to get some other bands of water coming along here. I'm doing this side first, just so you can see. I come on my stick, off, and up again. As I'm coming closer, some of these can afford to be a bit more abrupt and louder. And I want these on before I put the water bird there. Okay? I just thought of something. I'm going to put some water like this, just coming onto those rocks. I've dried those rocks, by the way, and I'm using my little one I use, you know, on the beach in the oceans. And oh, it's a bit heavy. And I want to leave the bottom edge there, just so this is like water just rinsing up onto this rocky edge here. Let's hope that's going to work. I think it will. Get some more down here like that. Scrumble the top edge back. And we're going to be sinking those other stones back as well. And we just make the bottom line, the bottom side of the line hard, just so you got something to scramble back into the actual lake. Yeah, this is a lake I'm taking it. It looks like a lake. It's not the bloody ocean. Oh, goodness. Alright, we've done that. And we'll put some other values there. Just the top half of that line, wash back. Hopefully, I'm going to look in my monitor. Hopefully it just looks like water rinsing up onto the edge. Yeah, it does a little bit. Get some white in there. You can... There we go. Now we're virtually finished on the home run here, so I want to get a post, because obviously this fish is on the post. Not the fish, the bird. So I'm going to map in a reasonable lonely old post into the water here. Now I don't know if I just told you, I can't remember. Black and burn umber I've used for this. So we've got our stick. Now the stick straight, the bottom of it straight, because that water lays straight. Okay? We'll put a shadow there later. And we want to map in a bird, a water bird. Use any bird. I'm going to try and do some sort of... where's the paint I just mixed up? There it is. I want to try and do some sort of crane or a something like that. So I want to... Where are we? My head's not the way. So we want to come off the... Come up his chest. There we go. And then we'll come down his back, that'll do, and then give him a bit of a tail. There we go. There's his body. Pretty simple. And now I'm using a flathead brush here. We want to give him a face looking down in concentration into that water there. What fish are down there? What can I see? And we've got to give it a bit of a water bird's neck. So we'll create a neck coming off its body and then start filling in the shape of its head. Work in baby steps when you do stuff like this. I better make his head in proportion with his body. Okay, I've done him to the degree I want. I'll probably put a bunch of reeds here, so we'll working from the bottom of the water. I'm just using that same flathead brush, and there's some reeds there. I'm trying to use the edge of the flathead to get them beautiful and sharp. And the bottom of them will be sunken down into the water as well. Let's give this a bit of a shadow. Oh, where are we? Not a shadow, reflection. Just into there somewhere. I'm hoping that is right. Yeah, I'm looking in the monitor, that's sort of resembling it. Got his shape there. And we can probably give these some pull down. Now I've mixed the smallest amount of white with that colour that I put on there, just so as I can give this post some kind of dimension. And if you want to put any highs and low darks in there, you're welcome. Do we want to... I might just put the slightest, you might not pick it up on camera, but whoever buys this painting will see it. Okay. Alright, I'm just picking up a bit of white. It's probably getting slightly contaminated with that burn umber that I've been doing that with, but I just want to now get the waterline for these reeds there and just sink them down as well. And this, actually I do want it a bit brighter than that. I just don't want it glaring white. There we go. And we can sink those reflections down as well. I've picked up some brown, but that doesn't matter. Okay. And you can just keep going on and on till the cows come home. You can add a rope onto this, but obviously there might be some little fishes in there, and he's perched up there and thinking, what is here? What have we got for dinner here? Look what I just done this. Frig digged around and I just killed that post. I better put it back. There we go. Now we'll put a signature on this and then we'll frame it. And just remember to look at the links in the description below. There's my art for sale. All my tutorial art panels are for sale. Message me on Facebook. Payments done through PayPal there. Check out the link for my new art group called Ianapolis Art Network. That's where I want all you beginners to jump on board, send me a request and post your art. And put a photo of yourself with your art too if you can. It's always nice to see the artist behind the work. Alright. See how this looks in a frame. Oh, that's not too shabby. I like that. It's alright. Well, I'll think of a name for it, alright? We've got our sunsetting colours there. We've got some horizon islands or grass or hillside there. We've got the water coming to a shallow shore and a bit of a water bird looking for his meal. Okay, give me the thumbs up, share, like and subscribe, and hit the bell next to the subscription button. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a video, alright? Be sure to tell your friends if you like what you saw today, but if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody, alright? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on ya!